Hey smokers, Dragon1 here. Just a little update video to let you know that still alive and well. Just haven't been feeling it in terms of making videos lately, just because of the workload from my current job, and it's kind of a lot. So it's kind of been taken away from the time put into my channel just to kind of recuperate on my off hours. But things have slowed up at least a little bit for the moment, mentally for me anyway, and I can put out a little bit of a video here today. Over the weekend I was in the process of imaging some old SCSI drives. These are the ones I've already imaged, using disk copy 6 on the, you might not recognize it right now, Fire Macintosh 7500. Now I have the case open because I'm constantly needing to swap drives out, shut it down, swap the drive, go to the next one. And this is the original boot drive, and I'll show you the procedure for that. It's super simple. Now the problem is that this drive here is only a gigabyte, the boot drive, and a lot of these drives I'm putting through here are like 4 gigs, stuff like that. Now when the image is created, it creates it in however much space is used up on the drive, not the entire capacity of the drive sector by sector. It's not just making a file full of zeros, which would be a decompression bomb if you opened them on this. But what I did is I've networked this computer in the iMac G5. So I'm saving the images over the network to the iMac G5. And since it has an SSD in it, it's going to be a little bit more reliable than just having another mechanical drive. Now the reason I'm imaging all these drives is that I'm currently in the process of consolidating all of my mechanical hard drives, in moving into a direction of not needing to have mechanical hard drives anymore almost at all. I have a lot of loose drives, most of them Windows PC formatted, and of course these are the Mac ones that are SCSI only. I don't have any external enclosures. Actually I do have external enclosures for SCSI, but they're also SCSI. So it wouldn't do me any good to do that. So this way I can actually get the data backed up without any problem. Now I've wanted to get as much stuff onto SSDs as possible. So I bought some more compact flash adapters so that since I'm going to get rid of all my old IDE drives, I'll have, if I do need to make a project of some sort, I can make it work. These are more... That's empty. What did I do with the other part of that? These are more of our... Oh, okay, this isn't what I thought it was. But this is my... I used to have one of these, but I think I burnt it out when I was doing another video? Can't remember. But this is PETA, or 2.5-inch IDE, to 3.5-inch IDE or ATA. So yeah, so another one of those so that I can, if I need to get more SSDs to use in this form factor, I can do it. And then I also have another SATA to IDE adapter I'm sure you're all familiar with. Now I know a lot of you guys will probably have some suggestions for this, but from the little bit of research that I've been able to do, there doesn't appear to be a SCSI equivalent SSD. There's apparently no demand for them, and the sites that I have seen are, hey, give us a call and we'll give you a quote type thing. You can't just go on Amazon and get even an adapter to go from SCSI to IDE or something like that. It just doesn't really exist as far as I know. Or I probably haven't done a lot of research, you know me. But I'm sure there's something out there, I just haven't found it yet, or something that can go from this to an SSD. Because right now, these are the only SCSI drives I have. So if I need to use them for other projects, like I need to wipe and do another thing for a video, I need to have these free and ability to wipe them so that I can use them. And if they do die in the process of doing videos, I can just toss them. And it won't be a big deal because I've already backed up all the data. Now I got 6 done so far, even though there's only 5 drives there. I don't know where the other one is. Oh, it's this one. I did transfer that one as well. I'm by no means done transferring them all. In the process of doing this, I've actually lost 2 Macs. Well, not entirely. I could probably figure out what was wrong with them. Power Macintosh G4 mirror drive door, while I was trying to use it as a machine like the G5 to transfer the images to, its power supply started crackling and making the lights flicker in my room. It was a little disturbing.
It's not crackling now.
And then on my Power Macintosh 9600, it stopped posting. It stopped chiming because I plugged in a bad SCSI drive, which started making electrical burning smells. And after I plugged it in, and then my Power Macintosh did boot ever again. So that sucks. Probably going to have to investigate both of those deeper to find out what exactly happened. In the meantime, though, I've only had I've had 2 Mac failures, 2 drive failures. 2 SCSI drives have failed, the electrical burning one, and another one that was of a similar branding. So the next, I have a couple more computers I need to dig the hard disks out of, and then we're going to do the transfer procedure, which is super simple and super easy, and I'll show you real quick. Got this bad boy out of a 2CI. I'll go ahead and plug it in here. Oh shit. There we go. Now hopefully the drive won't fry my computer. Holy crap, my lens is dirty. Alright, time to power it on. I hope my new DB15 adapter works. Just the inputs. There we go. Whew. Oh yeah. Okay, so we got our Wii drive. That's not good. So it looks like our 2CI drive is not mounting. And if we look at Apple System Profiler, and we go device information. It sees 1 hard drive, and that's it. You can see how it says vendor quantum. They are both quantum actually, but since it only sees 1, that means that the other one doesn't work. Now it might be that it's too old, it might be that it's failed, who the hell knows? Might be some SCSI shit going on. Maybe it doesn't like that I don't have the LED plugged in. Oh, it shouldn't fucking matter. So we may have a casualty on our hands. Fear not, I have another drive we can try. I'll set this aside to give it another look at some point. So, instead of 2CI, we've got a 2CX drive here. As you can see, it's a little bit thinner, so it might be a little bit newer, although it says 1992 on it, so insulative material there. I don't think I ever made the video about the red filter stuff. It's kind of interesting. Feels like they're both spinning. Now, the logic board for the Power Macintosh 7500 is set to startup disk from its startup disk, so it doesn't just randomly boot these drives I'm plugging into it. While we're waiting on that, I can tell a little bit about what happened with the G5. I thought it was dead initially, because when you watch, if you go back and watch the SSD in an iMac G5 video, you'll remember I put something like that in it. But I took that out to repurpose for the Mac Pro, I think. And so some of you may remember this, the Radeon SSD. It was used in the G4 and so I thought, okay, I know the G5 can't boot Mac OS 9, but I can install 10 right on top of it, and it should be able to boot. But for whatever reason, the iMac G5 hates this SSD and doesn't start up correctly. So instead I installed the SSD I used for the last 420 video from 2019 that I installed, fuck, I keep wanting to say Mandrake, but it's like Manjaro, yeah. Manjaro Linux and Linux Mint on. So I kind of erased that, and now it's the iMac G5 SSD, and that boots fine. It doesn't have a problem with that SSD. Unfortunately, while I was kicking the damn thing around, being not very careful and stuff, opening it up, putting it on the floor, closing it, you know, somewhat frustrated. I was tired. It was very hot, and I don't even know if you can see it on the camera, but you can see that pixel line. I did damage the LCD, so I'm kind of pissed about that. Especially pissed because for whatever reason, when I have the iMac in this lighting condition, with this, it makes it look really nice for some reason, even though how old this is now. So, yeah. Also, Fossa has donated this Mac Mini desk lamp, which uses the speaker ball from the iMac G4. So that's a nice little lamp there. I don't think I've shown it in the video before, or at least not on. So I really appreciate that. Okay, so we're back up over here. And we apparently the fucking drive is not detected over here either. I don't know why. Let's see, let's just confirm this. I mean, these are really fucking old drives, so I mean, it's understandable if they just failed spontaneously. Yeah, okay. Slight correction here, editing in here. I forgot to click on this, and I can see the other bus. So you can see on SCSI bus 1, and this is actually the one. This is actually the startup disk. So that meant that on those other ones that you just saw, you're actually looking at SCSI bus 0, and it actually did see the hard drive. It wasn't mounting, so that could mean any number of things. It could be software problems, could be just the drive failing and it still sees it. So, yeah, because it's, it might have not liked that there was a CD-ROM drive on the same cable, maybe. Not going to really go into it in this video. Maybe another time. I'll go find another one. I wasn't planning on showing this on camera, but the Quadra 840AV, which in the last video, at least I think it was the last video, we turned on. It doesn't really look like the Quadra AV right now because the case isn't on it, but it's this one. The case comes off like the front way and up. So the hard drive here supposedly is okay. We want to image it, but the weird thing about it is it looks like it has a fan there, right? It actually has 3 fucking fans for the hard drive. What the fuck? How hot does this hard drive get? Firewall. So it turns out I didn't really need to show you the inside of the computer because the fans came right with it. The fans are already on it, and they have their own like connector if I wanted to hook them up. So this might be part of the problem here. My lack of experience with SCSI drives. Let's see if we can figure this out. Now this is some weird shit. This looks like it's been like penned in. Like this doesn't look like the label that came with it. So parity enable disable. PO parity? What the fuck is all this? Shit. Maybe this is why I fried my computer. Okay. Ugh. Well, I've set my hard drive now and then to slave instead of master, and master instead of slave before, and I never fried any drive, so I'm assuming that it can't be any worse than this, right? or I'm just fucking up this drive. Ugh, I really don't want to fuck up a drive or the computer because I don't exactly have infinite of these. Aha, here's another table. Maybe they recreated the table by hand and pen? Oh god. Termination enable. Default SCSI equals 6. A0, A1, A2. I don't even see any of that shit. So it's that. I don't even know what that is. I legitimately don't know what that is. But instead of actually looking it up, I'm just gonna plug this in and fucking hope. Because that's how we do things on this channel. Destructively, although not intentionally. But with a lot of hope. I think I should plug the fans in. I feel like I'm obligated to plug the fans in at this point. Plug this into there. Then the fans will be active when I plug this in. How loud are they going to be? No fucking idea. Is it going to overload this power supply that's not expecting it? And probably has bad caps? It's going to just crackle and fry like... If my G4 mirror drive door fucked up, then there's no way this can't fuck up, right? Power it on, see those beautiful things fire up. All one of them. Oh, the rest are seized. Come on. Come on, move, you little poops. God damn it. I'll have to WD-40 them later. Even though that's probably not the best solution. As you can tell, it's a little noisier than before. Actually, by a lot. The bearings in that old drive are making a lot of noise, meaning that it is in fact spinning. And we might get lucky here. So in the meantime, while that's starting up, we need to see how the other half of the transfer works. So this is the iMac. And actually I might have to restart it. Crap. Okay. So go here. Fuck off. Alright, so this is my router that I showed earlier. And basically we want to go to attach devices. And we can see that that's the iMac. And usually the, oh, good news. It's rebuilding the desktop file for the Quadra HD, so that means it's working. So, problem is that my fucking router wasn't plugged in, and now it can't detect the other device until it probably restarts. Let's let it boot up all the way here and refresh. Pray it's on there. It's fucking not on there. Replug it back in. Oh, god damn it. Right when it fucking works, right? So we gotta reboot this so that the router can assign it an IP address. Unless there's something else I can do. Maybe I can force it. Manually. Okay. Yes, will be supplied, but when, I don't know. So, yeah, save it. Okay, maybe it did it now. Let's see. So I don't have to restart it. Okay, fuck. So I gotta fucking restart it. Oh well. Okay, I think I may have burned my chicken or undercooked it. I don't know because I either didn't hear the beep or never started the timer. And yeah, I might need to make some more chicken again. Okay, so we have the Quadra HD here. And this apparently is what we looked at the other day. It's got some stuff on there. Old software, we want to hang on to it. So, first, we have to go to the chooser. Let's make sure we have an IP address first. We do not have an IP address. Okay, well let's just try it anyway to see if it'll somehow find it. What the fuck? Okay. Numlock presses enter for some reason. Okay. Oh my god, what the fuck? How can it see it? Okay, so it can see this, even though apparently it's not even on the network. Oh, now it is. Okay. Except now it doesn't have a name when it had a name before. Okay, whatever. I fucked something up somewhere with the file sharing. It's something. It doesn't matter. Since we're a registered user, we go right in. And we have this. Okay. And I can have it mount on startup, but I wanted you to see that first. Okay, so the assumption is that the drive that we're copying from does not have, or the drive that we're booting from doesn't have enough space to accommodate the drive we're trying to copy. So I'm going to launch up disk copy here. And in previous episodes of Draga 1, I used this to like write floppy disk images. Well, now we're going to create an image from disk. Quadra HD, select. It's only 700 megs. And there's a 700 megs, and so we don't want it to mount. And we want to go to desktop, Draga, which is our shared folder. And, well, how do I go? I'm going to put it on desktop with all the other disk images there you can see. And we want to click save. Alright, so that is writing now. And as we can see over here, we got our disk image. So now we're just kind of waiting for it to copy all 700 megs over the disk image. It's all safe and sound on an SSD, and potentially, and we'll try this, it may actually be bootable with Mini vMac. So we'll see if we can actually boot from the image on a virtual machine in that method. Now you're seeing right now that's reading and writing the image. Some other things you may see is that, oh, we also have Claris the dog cow here as well. But you might see actually files and folders going by, because the way it copies an image, according to disk copy, is it isn't really writing it sector by sector. It's really just a container for a directory of files. So, and because the nature of old Macs, the only thing they need to boot is just a hard drive filled with the system folder and some files in it that actually make up the functioning system. You don't need to have any weird boot record shit. You don't really need a bootloader or anything like that. The logic board just finds the system folder, and you of course need to have the drive in the right format as well, but yeah, it just kind of finds it. So you can drag and drop like an entire system over to a blank drive, and that drive is now bootable. I wish it were that simple in modern times, but no. But it's still better to have it enclosed and encapsulated like this, because otherwise you're throwing stuff into a folder, and then if that folder gets copied to a PC, then it kind of like invalidates the files, and then the Mac thinks that the files are PC files, and then you got to use a different piece of software, I forgot what it's called, to undo that. And God, what the fuck was it called? I don't know, but we're gonna let this go. I need to go see if my chicken's okay. Yeah, right now it's just going quadrahd.img. Now first, for some other images, it needed to like zero out the image, and then it copied file by file, and you could see them going by, and you would see that by now. And for whatever reason, I'm just not seeing that. So it's already done. And I don't even know if my chicken's done. But there it is. It's all mine. Tastes fine. Tastes pretty good. What was I gonna say? Oh, we're done. That's it. This whole video, I guess. Well, let's see. So remember, the Quadra should now be mountable. It's verifying. There's our shit. Now you'll see that the desktop folder is now visible for anything that was on the desktop. That normally is not. But then our other shit is there. And it looks pretty much like it already did. Now, I can't really test to see if apps will run on this because, well, I don't have Classic installed and I don't want to install it right now. Why does this bread have holes in it? Like, come on. But the real trick is, since the Quadra, I don't even know what system it's running. I think it's running System 7. If it's running System 7, I think it'll work with Mini Mac. If not, I gotta get Sheep Shaver. Yeah, you know, it's kind of a pain in the ass. So we've got Mini Mac, PowerPC, OS 10. Boom. Okay. So I should just be able to click and drag this here, and it does a SAT Mac. Not surprising, because how the fuck does this work? H quit. Yes. Probably because it's a little too new for it. So, because this is supposed to be a Macintosh Plus. Macintosh Plus is going to go to OS 7.5 or something like that. So I think I already have a preloaded system here. It'll boot up. I think it's 7.5. Let's see. 7.5, okay. So now we can drag on this. And there's our Quadra. And there's our shit. There it is. So I could even do this on a PC. That's way too much mail. Oh fuck. Adobe Photoshop, not enough memory. Okay. Mac Draw Pro. Holy shit! Oh, wait, I need to zoom in. Fuck. Dude, it worked. I think that's fucking successful as shit. Can I draw stuff? I can draw stuff. And it actually is faster than the fucking Quadra itself. Now, if you want anything newer, like you actually want to boot the image of this computer, you have to use Sheep Shaver because it's PowerPC. And the Quadra is just too new of an OS. I'm pretty sure. Okay, we'll close this out. Okay, and we can mount as many of these on here as we want. This one right here has a desktop folder or something. It isn't enough memory. Okay, so let's eject this. There isn't enough memory. Okay. It isn't enough memory. Oh god. Okay, there was a 160 megabyte drive that I imaged. Might be a lower OS we can boot. Let's try this. Fuck. How about this one? Fuck. How about this one? Oh, fuck. Okay, so the only thing that works is my preloaded Macintosh Plus system that automatically has 7.5, and then from there you can load as a secondary, like this one. And now, see, now we can load it, so we can launch that America Online. Mac check? The hell is this? Some sort of third-party diagnostic software. All it's going to see is a perfect Macintosh Plus, and nothing else. Alright. Let's start checking our Mac. System info. Macintosh Plus. Let's start the test. Oh, fuck. Okay. Alright, well, you get the idea. You can... Whoa. You can look at shit. If you got files on there you need to look at, like, say, old text document or something, you can image it like this. Make the image files on the side there, and you can load into this. Now, if you were to load these, if you try to open these on, I think, anything later than 10.6, don't quote me on that. It might be 10.5.8. Because this is Tiger right here. Tiger 10.4.6. If you try to open them, it just says it's corrupted or doesn't work. I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that. I don't exactly have like a Catalina computer here. My newest Mac has Windows 10 on it, and it's the only one that can run Catalina. So I do have a virtual machine of a... Oh, wait a minute. I do have Sierra installed on a SSD that could boot the that too, but I'm gonna finish eating first and shut all this shit down. Okay, so I got impatient. I haven't eaten all the way yet, but here's the SSD. Now, for those of you who remember installing Sierra in a virtual machine, or in VMware, I believe that's what it was. This is 1012. This is that operating system. I cloned the drive over to this drive, a physical drive, to be used on physical computers, not a virtual machine, and it is actually bootable. Would have made for an interesting episode, but based on what I was trying to do at the time, I didn't really, wasn't really in the mood to make a video about it. So, but you get the idea. It used to be a virtual machine, now it's a not so virtual machine. Yeah, and then we got our 2013 MacBook Pro here. And then we got, and there we go. I've got the images on this, so let's see if we can open PowerMac 7500 image. And there you go. Legacy image should be converted. What? Is that an option? Can I convert it? Disk utility? Images. Convert. Wait a minute here, hold on. Holy shit, are you serious? And let me just save it on the desktop with all the other shit. Just make it read-only. Hey! I didn't even know you could do this. I literally just learned this. So it's converting an old-ass image, and before it has an error, and this isn't what it's supposed to be used for, but it's, I guess it's going, and we're going to convert the old-ass image, and then you can use it on Catalina, I guess. Holy shit. I can't believe it. But just so you know, it was the images. I just did convert. Oh my god, did it actually fucking work, dude? Operation successful. Okay. Okay, so we got the converted one here. It's now a disk image. Verifying. Are you shitting on me? Oh my god, it worked. Oh my god. It actually fucking worked, dude. I had no idea. Doesn't really tell me what format it is. Just that it's a disk image. Oh, it's probably the universal, what is it called? It's like the universal disk image format. That's what DMG is. Or what it's supposed to be. God damn. Here's the actual information. You can see it's disk image external physical volume Mac OS standard. So that's what it thinks the format is. I'm surprised that any, like, even semi-modern OS would even show this. Now, I don't have Catalina, so I can't test to see if this disk image could be opened on it. But I'm pretty damn sure it can, because if Sierra can modernize a disk image, then Catalina should be able to see that disk image with no fucking problem. So if you have some old Macs or whatever that has Ethernet, even if it doesn't, you can probably figure something out. You gotta get that disk image over to something that can get on a modern system, then you can convert it with disk utility. And you can get out your files, and you can save these files on a modern system. And it's no problemo. So I'll probably go through and convert all these, and then I can transfer them, put them on some cloud storage, keep it safe. If I ever need to go into it to find anything, I got it all. I was really not expecting it to be so fucking simple and everything to go pretty much all alright. Doesn't really go with the whole channel thing, you know. Although I did have a lot of problems getting to this point, just because I had 2 computers fail, 2 drives fail. It was bad. So we did it. I got another video idea planned. I know I've had a lot of video ideas planned. I don't know if I said this before, but I even did an interview with a game developer, and I was going to make a whole video about all his games and stuff, and everything just kind of fell through the cracks lately. So what's going to happen is I I got another idea for a video that's also, it's pretty simple. Just give me something pretty basic to do to get me back into the flow of doing things and having some fun with this. So, sorry it's been so long, and just to let everybody know, I ain't dead yet. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.